Have you ever grabbed your wallet, heart racing, because you thought you were getting the deal of a lifetime, even if you really didn't need it? Today, we're going to explore how our brains are tricked by simple mental shortcuts called cognitive biases, and how brands use them to make us buy things on impulse. In the next 6 to 7 minutes, you'll learn about these shortcuts, hear a personal story of one of my own impulse buys, and find out how to outsmart these tricks so you can shop smarter. Cognitive biases are mental shortcuts our brains use to make decisions quickly. They're useful for everyday choices, like picking dinner, but sometimes they lead us to make mistakes when buying things. Some common biases include anchoring bias, scarcity bias, social proof, decoy effect, framing effect. These shortcuts can push us into decisions that aren't really logical. And the truth is, brands know exactly how to use these tricks. Imagine you're shopping for a new gadget. The first price you see is 2,999 rupees, but then it drops to 1,999 rupees. Suddenly, 1,999 doesn't seem too bad. That initial high price sets a mental benchmark, making the discount seem much more attractive. This is called the anchoring effect. Now think about an ad that says only 2 left in stock, or limited edition. That message makes you feel like you need to act fast, or you'll miss out on something special, even if that special value is overstated. This is a classic example of scarcity bias. Next, imagine you're reading reviews on a product page. You see thousands of positive reviews or a celebrity talking about it. Instantly, you think, if so many people love it, it must be great. This is social proof at work, our tendency to follow what others are doing. Then there are times when you see 3 choices on a product page. For example, imagine you're at a movie theater buying popcorn. You have 3 sizes: small for 100 rupees, medium for 150 rupees, and large for 155 rupees. The medium option is priced very close to the large one, making the large size look like a much better deal. This trick is known as the decoy effect. It nudges you toward the choice that benefits the seller most. Finally, consider how the same fact can be presented in 2 ways. A food product might be labeled 90% fat-free instead of contains 10% fat. Even though both say the same thing, 90% fat-free sounds healthier and more appealing. This is the framing effect. The way information is presented can change our opinion. Each of these tactics, anchoring, scarcity, social proof, decoy, and framing, are simple yet powerful tools that brands use to influence our buying choices without us even realizing it. A few years ago, I was scrolling through social media when I saw an ad for a limited time sale on a high-tech smartwatch. The ad was slick, with great testimonials, a countdown timer, and a message like, "Join thousands who upgraded their lives today." My brain immediately fell for the scarcity bias and social proof. I clicked through and entered my credit card details without a second thought. Later, I realized I already had a watch that worked perfectly fine. I ended up feeling guilty and wondering, why did I let myself be tricked? That day, I learned that even my own brain can be fooled by these clever tactics. Our brains are built to take shortcuts. When we see something that triggers a cognitive bias, our brain releases dopamine, the chemical that makes us feel pleasure and reward. This dopamine rush makes even an impulse purchase feel really good. Brands use this to their advantage by creating urgency and exclusivity, making us feel like we're part of a special club. Every time you feel that rush when you buy something on impulse, remember that it's not just a random feeling. It's your brain reacting to smart marketing tricks. So what can you do? Start by being aware of these tricks. When you recognize them, you can question the messages and ads you see. Pause before you click. Whenever you see a deal that sounds too good to be true, take a moment. Ask yourself if you're being rushed by a limited offer or a low stock alert. Do your research. Check reviews, compare prices, and think about whether you really need the product. A bit of research can save you from impulse buying and regret. Reflect on past purchases. Remember my smartwatch story. Think about your own impulse buys. What made you decide? Understanding your emotions can help you take control. Set a budget and stick to it. Decide in advance how much you're willing to spend. This can act as a barrier against impulsive purchases driven by these biases. Brands in different industries use these tricks too. In fashion, limited edition collections create a sense of scarcity, making items more desirable. In tech, the anchoring bias is common. You might first see a high price, then a discounted one that seems like a great deal, even if it's still expensive. And in food, the framing effect is used to make products seem healthier, like saying 90% fat-free instead of contains 10% fat. Understanding these techniques gives you a look into how our brains work and helps you see through the marketing tricks. Once you know how these tactics operate, you can start to take back control of your decisions. Cognitive biases are natural ways our brain makes decisions quickly. However, when brands use them, we can end up making choices that aren't really rational. Recognizing these biases is the first step to being a smarter shopper. Next time you see a flash sale or a limited edition offer, take a breath, think about the psychology behind it, and decide if you really need it. Your future self will thank you. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe for more insights into psychology and consumer behavior, and share your own stories of impulse buys in the comments below. How have you been tricked by marketing, and what steps are you taking to shop smarter? I'd love to hear from you. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand these tricks, the better you can control your own decisions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.